Welcome back, my math geniuses. Again, today we're going to be looking at 6.4G, converting fractions, decimals, and percent to equivalent forms. Let's jump right in. So today, the first thing it says for the first number is to use the number line below to answer questions 1 through 3. So first we need to look at the number line. What do we notice about the number line? Well, as it says, several points on the number line, which shows numbers from 0 to 1. So they're between 0 and 1, which means all of these numbers are less than 1, but more than 0. And they're positive rational numbers. And what form are they all in? Decimals. So let's look at number 1. Number 1 says, on the number line, point M represents 25 hundredths. What fraction does point M also represent on the number line? So we are looking for point M, which is 0.2 is here, and the halfway between 0.2 and 0.3 is 0.25. Now they're asking you what fraction represents point M. So basically they want to know what fraction represents 25 hundredths. So let's write that as a fraction. 25 over 100. If you divide both of them by a common factor of 25, you get 1 over 4. But we all know that 25 out of 100 is the same as 1 out of 4. Remember, when you see fractions dealing with fourths, think of a dollar. So 25 over 100, we simplified it and got 1/4. So our answer has to either be 25 over 100 or 1/4. Let's look. B, 1/4. Ding, ding, ding. If you guessed 1/4, you got it right. Number 2. It says, which point on the number line could represent 85%? Stop. Wait a minute. Now we see that the number line only contains decimals, but they're asking us about a percent. So we need to turn that percent into a decimal. We know that if we have percents, we start at the percent and move 2 places to the left. And that gives us 0.85 or 85 hundredths. So let's see what point on the line represents 85 hundredths. Now we have 0.8 and 0.9. So we know that 8500 has to come between it. What point is that? Q. Let's see if we were correct. Yep, letter C, point Q. Last but not least, let's look at number 3. It says, which pair of on the number line also represents the fractions 2/5? Again, the number line is decimals, and this is a fraction. So we need to turn that fraction into a decimal. Remember, denominator divided into numerator. Take that decimal straight up. 5 can't go into 2, but it can go into 20 4 times. 4 times 5 is 20. If we subtract, that gets us 0. So 4/10 or 0.4. So it says, which point represents 2/5 on the number line? So 0.4, let's see what point is that? N. Yep, the correct answer is N. We're going to go ahead and do number 4 together because I noticed that one may be a little difficult at first. So let's do this one together. It says, Martha baked 18 cupcakes as shown in the diagram below. Martha's family ate 12 of the cupcakes. What percent of the 18 cupcakes did the family eat? So they ate 12 out of the 18 cupcakes. That's already our fraction. 12 out of 18. Well, in order to turn this into a percent, we must first turn it into a decimal. 18 into 12. And let's add our decimal and our 0. First thing, take that decimal straight up. 18 can't go into 12. But 18 can go into 120. How many times? 6 times. And gives us 108. Subtract, that's 12. Add another 0, bring it down. Looks like this is going to be repeating itself. And when a decimal repeats itself, we put the bar notation, 6600 repeated. So let's see. It says what percent. So in order to turn this into percent, we start at the decimal and move 2 places. Where? Yep, to the right. That gives us 66%. Let's see what our answer choices are. 66 and 2/3%. 66 and 1/3%. The answer is D. You're probably wondering, well, Ms. Williams, how did you get 2/3? Well, if we look at our answer choice, we have 12 out of 18 left over. We're always left with 12. So if we converted 12 over 18, we divided them both by 6, and that gave us 2 over 3. So 66 and 2/3%. Last one we're going to do together, number 5. Of the 360 students at a music school, 270 are learning to play a string instrument. What percent of the students are learning to play a string instrument? First of all, a fraction is always a part of a whole. So what is the whole? How many students do we have altogether? We have 360 students, so that will become our denominator. How many students actually played a string instrument? 270, so that will be our numerator. Now, it wants us to turn that into a what? A percent. But first, we must turn it into a decimal. Now, you know me. I like to do math, but I don't like to make it complicated. So raise your hand if you want to divide 360 into 270. I hope nobody raised their hand because we could totally make this easier if we simplify. First of all, let's cover the zeros. If we just had 27 over 36, what factor do they both share? I hope you said 9. So if 27 and 36 both share 9 as a factor, 270 and 360 should share 90. So let's divide both of them by 90. And again, just act as if the 0 isn't there for a while. 9 goes into 27 3 times, so 90 goes into 270 3 times. 9 goes into 36 4 times, so 90 goes into 360 4 times. So we have 3 over 4. Now again, we are supposed to be turning that into a percent. It's a fraction. We need to turn it into a decimal, then a percent. We know that 3 out of 4 is the same as 3/4 out of $1, which is how much? Yep, 75 cents. So we will write that as 0.75. In order to turn it into a percent, start at the decimal, move 2 places to the right. 75%. So 75% of the students played string instruments. And we've done all this math. I didn't look at the answer choices. Let's see what the answer is. 75%, that is